Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the second edition of the Asian Brand and Leadership Summit 2015. I'm your host, Neha Sareen, and it gives me great pleasure in introducing my co-anchor for today, Mr. Viraj Kalra, who's looking rather dapper. Now, together, we're going to take a look back at 2014 and celebrate brand milestones and excellence, while also mapping and charting the vision of 2015.
WCRC, with NewsX as their broadcasting partner, organized Asian Brand and Leadership Summit 2014. The day's agenda was to involve the CXOs and MDs in a thought-provoking conclave where they discussed the way forward for the brands from Asia. Various companies and media agencies were also recognized for their outstanding achievements. The panel discussion of the day dealt with dynamic possibilities and the marketing challenges the diverse continent of Asia possesses.
We have some of the sharpest, keenest opinion leaders here in this very room who have managed to combine vision and venture to scale great heights in their respective fields. So how can we not bring them together on this very platform to engage in a stimulating panel discussion?
Let's start the ball rolling with what is it that you think Asia has to offer, which is going to be, the most relevant for all of us for the next 10 years to come.
Asia is definitely going for the next leap, which happened to be there in fragmented way in Western region. Considering this area of the continent, there is a diversity, but the product, the services that is required at any point of time are similar. The only thing which is required to be looked at is that do we have the right framework?
From here to 10 years, if you take how things will evolve, there is going to be tremendous scope and opportunities in financial sector for sure, because the way the government and Reserve Bank is focusing on digitalizing the economy, so many things are going to happen. Opportunities are huge. Those who can think, develop on technology, not just in mobile, on internet, on online, on sensor cards, magnetic cards. Recently, just 5 years down the back, if you had to send some money to somebody from Cochin to anywhere in India, you have to take a draft or send a check or send a telegraphic transfer and do this. Today, you don't need anything. You can do it through an SMS from your account.
For Indians, Asians, there are plenty of opportunities. If you take infrastructure, you start any segment, right from power, ports, road, railway connectivity. Anything you take, there is a huge scope for development.
Most of the time what I feel is that local players are the one who are going to really rule the world. I mean, if you are Indian based, you know the Indian culture, Indian mentality, the kind of consumer you have, the kind of potential you have, the huge mass, so many people, okay, and especially the growing middle class. Once you understand the local market, you will be able to do better. So what was done in US and Europe is getting done in India or maybe Asian countries, and the kind of growth which we are seeing is really good. 200–300% CAGR maintaining is tough, but yes, this is the market where we are in the right time, the right place.
I think it is about time, and it needs a little more of the process integration, the global standard process integration in the Asian companies. Along with a lot of digitization, social integrations, and collaborations. I think that these are the nuances and the facts which will make Asian economy, especially South Asian economy, a very strong, potent force in the coming days.
We definitely export coffee or tea from here, and Starbucks comes and opens up in India and sell at a higher price than what we are. What is it? Whereas coffee beans are from India, but what is that? Because they challenge you in your own place. Why? Because of innovation. Challenge is there everywhere, but how do we address the challenge is only by innovation. We take any field, let it be any walk of life, the greatest asset that we in Asia we have is our manpower. Today we can challenge any country. People who never used to think of India as a developing country, today all the top industries are come to India, whether let them be from any part of the world.
We are now a part of the a leading commercial bank in Sri Lanka. If you heard about Head National Bank, that's second largest commercial bank in Sri Lanka. In recognition of our brand strength and in recognition of central bank recognizing us as one of the potential finance companies to be the leading microfinance provider, they have acquired us. And having acquired us and seeing that the potential that they have, and they have in principle have decided that they would sort of invest in microfinance activities outside of Sri Lanka. So that is to speak quite a lot of what the microfinance industry has in the Asian region.
I think the world's largest mobile app producers are in our country, in India. So there is a huge scope for innovation. I think the world is looking at the Asian region for a lot of innovations. It clearly comes from the fact, look at the kind of funding that is happening across the region as well. You were mentioning about Amazon, but look at the Snapdeals and the Flipkarts of the world, which are really growing by leaps and bounds. And it is all about innovation in the e-commerce sector. The Asian region, the trust on brands by consumer is far higher than the trust of the brands, in the Western region.
Thank you for bringing that perspective into the discussion, because I'd really like to understand, and because time is limited, we'll obviously keep it crisp. Then what is it that you're doing to keep your brand relevant to your target segments? Mr. Reddy, you can tell us what is it that you do to keep yourself very relevant to your stakeholders?
What we talk, what we communicate, whether we are delivering or not, that is the first point. More than the publicity going to media houses, that is the secondary. That word of mouth will spread very fast. Any need for the customer, what is the next 10 years need? How he is going to ask, how he is going to, what are all his demands? So we are continuously thinking of developing new products, and which has to be given to the consumer at a low cost and affordable cost.
To get another perspective from maybe another challenging industry from a branding perspective, maybe we can hear from the other Mr. Reddy from British Biologicals.
I'd like to add one sentence and then tell a little experience, where we say quality was never an accident. It is a continuous struggle with a willpower to produce a quality product. Whether we maintain that quality, we challenge that, yes. Today, we are exporting the products to almost 21 countries. We have not gone to even one country that come and buy my product. They only have come. My only condition is that unless they accept that I'm going to put it as made in India, I'm not going to export that product to that country. Now, to bring that, it takes a lot of dedication, innovation, and constant upgrading yourself.
Before I hand it over to the two agencies for the last word, maybe Vikas, you could tell us what is it that you guys are doing at Tata Blue to keep things relevant?
The more important thing is the agility, how quickly you're responding to any change in the behavior of the buyer or competition or anything which is relevant to your brand. In our case, we are most of the time are the first introduction player in terms of the technology and product, but does not mean that we have to stop. We have to continue to introduce more and develop the entire channel accordingly. In South Asia, people always look for more and they want the change. And to be with the change and to lead the change, you have to continuously innovate in terms of product, in terms of technology, in terms of services.
Rabat, maybe we can start with you. What is it that you think would be your number one advice, the numero uno advice to startups in Asia going global?
See, in a lot of those speeches, a lot of the speakers have mentioned that we have integrated SAP into our system. We have integrated Oracle into our system. See, this is how you endorse products. You're also being a brand ambassador of these products. So I guess that is the story that needs to be built by Asian brands. That a person, maybe somewhere in France or Italy or Greece, would be saying, okay, we are using Infosys or we are using Wipro. I think that is the goal that Asian brands need to harness into their system.
Interesting, absolutely. That's what we all need to be motivated to go to. And Anita, the last word.
How a brand is relevant to me, how is it changing my life as a consumer, and how is changing the life of the society at large. You know, that is what I was mentioning about, makes a brand far more meaningful. Look at what Maruti did to the country, you know, in terms of driving. I think it came into the force when everybody made, four-wheeler driving was made affordable to everybody.
Makes absolute sense. Thank you very much for that. Are there any questions for our panelists?
When Anita said that when Maruti came over here, they made it relevant for people to have affordable four-wheeler driving. I think I would like to correct that. They didn't make it affordable because we already had Fiats which were much more affordable. I think they brought in better technology. So, I mean, how did it make it relevant? I'd like to know.
You know, so what you're talking about is benefit, which is right. I mean, if I don't have a superior technology, India and the South Asian region, even the Asian region at large, is very, very value driven. You know, we need value for money and we are very price sensitive. So those things will definitely be there. You know, those are brand benefits. But at large, what did Maruti do? You know, it just brought in a vehicle at every price point which was affordable by that consumer at that price point. So that is what I mean by saying that it actually changed the complete driving canvas in the country.
If you look at Asian markets and India subcontinent, or even within that India, there is a lot that still needs to be done. So we have a large population and we have a large agenda of influencing lives. So we are on that journey, and there is a lot more, as I spelled out, those 2 or 3 key things, key drivers. There's a large agenda of continuing to build that and making our science and our brands accessible to more and more people in a very meaningful way.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, the very first issue of the quarterly brand magazine that showcases brand news from all across Asia will be revealed right here, right now. We bring you Brand Illustrated.
We are talking about the CMOs, the brand custodians, the sales heads and the marketing heads that have made campaigns in this year that have been relevant to all of us. And this section is, of course, called the Marketing Masterminds of India.
The first award in this category went to Anisha Motwani, Director, CMO, Max Life Insurance. Prashant Pandey, Marketing Head, GSK. Next up was Manish Seth, Director, Sales and Marketing, Bacardi, India. The final award in this category went to Harmeet Singh Rajpal, Senior VP Marketing, Domino's, India.
I think media mix is very, very relevant to brands. Whether you're going to invest your funds this year in the Sunburn, or you're going to go to the mall at the Palladium in Bombay, or to the UB City in Bangalore, or to the City Walk in Delhi, it's finally the media agencies that take a call on that. And so, we felicitate the best media buying agencies of the year.
The first media agency to be recognized in this category was Lodestar UM, represented by Hema Malik. Next award in this category went to Havas Media, represented by Anita Nair and Mohit Joshi. The final award in this category went to Percept Media, represented by Reshmi Ranjan Patnaik.
this next category of awards is not just about brands. It's about the brand builders. It's about the brands that have made it. It's also about the brands that are in the process of getting there. It's about the brands that have led with the promise, and it's about the brands that are the promise.
The first award in the category of WCRC Leaders of the Year went to Ritu Kumar for her contribution in the field of fashion designing.
The brand actually belongs to India, and it's perhaps the only brand in the fashion world which has a very organic indigenous handwriting. And I think as a country we should be proud of the fact that we have our individuality and it expresses itself in various ways, and not least through the textiles and the crafts of this country.
Kumar Mangalam Birla was chosen as the Icon of the Year 2014. Rajiv Dubey, Director Group Corporate Services, received the award on his behalf.
Let me first of all thank the World Consulting and Research Corporation for the award Icon of the Year. I accept it on behalf of our over 120,000 colleagues spread over 36 countries across the globe. The Aditya Birla team is what I call a 3D team, a team with a deep driving desire to excel, to win, to build businesses that will win not just this year and the next, but also in the next generation and the generation beyond that.
Piyush Bansal, founder and CEO of Lenskart.com, was recognized as the Entrepreneur of the Year 2014.
Well, time is precious, I think. Every second that passes, right, we're losing a few orders, so keep going. And I think overall for Lenskart, the journey has been to define how people have thought of eyewear in the industry. I think for Lenskart, the changing moment was when we said, look, this is the most important accessory on your face. So, you know, make it cool, make it quirky, and move on.
Aditya Birla Group was awarded the Company of the Year 2014. Anshu Gupta, the founder of Goonj, was recognized as the Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2014.
I think social is the way forward for sure, but whether it is from the voluntary sector or from the corporate sector, what is needed most is the honesty.
Dr. Vandana Shiva, founder of Navdanya, won the Social Activist of the Year 2014. Maya Goburdhan, co-director Navdanya, received the award on her behalf.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank WCRC to have honored the work of Dr. Vandana Shiva, her contributions in the social sector. Well, the most relevant field is something that touches us all, every day, almost thrice a day, if not 4 times a day, and that is food. So Navdanya was founded by Dr. Shiva to protect the seed, to promote organic farming, as you have said, and also to show and express solidarity with the small farmers.
Bikash Behel won the award for Queen, the Movie of the Year 2014.
I know we're always accused of making some really bad films and sometimes making a good film. But I must tell you that whenever you walk onto any set and you see the spot boy work and you see the light guy work, and there'll be one guy sitting on the roof for 14 hours just pulling the ropes, you realize there's so much of hard work and sweat and blood that goes into making a film that it's sad that we get subjected to just being noticed on that Friday, Saturday and getting judged for all that hard work. But there's a great team behind every film that comes out. There's a lot of dedication and hard work. And this is just one output of that hard work.
When Just Do It happened, it started as a campaign for Nike. It's a Sony was a campaign for Nike. And they ended up becoming the taglines or the calling lines for these brands. And when something like that happens, it becomes exciting. So to salute the campaigns of the year is this next category.
The first award in this category went to Lolintas for Free Charge. BBDO received the award for Gillette Soldier for Women campaign. Ogilvy received the award for Google Reunion Campaign. Lowland Tars also received awards for Idea Internet Campaign, Lifebuoy Help a Child Reach 5, and Tanishq, Love Has No Price Tag. Ogilvy received the awards for Sunny Fresh 700 se 7 Kadam campaign and Vodafone Made for You campaign.
I think Viraj and I would agree on this one. We hope you've had a great time here today. I hope that this event and this wonderful showcase has captured your imagination just as it has ours. But it ain't over yet because we're going to be back with one more episode.